All right, here we go. Welcome to this regular meeting of the Board of Directors of Oxford Preparatory Academy, January 28th, 2021. 5:30 p.m. open session, 5:40 p.m. closed session, and returning to open session at 7 o'clock p.m. This meeting will be by teleconference pursuant to Executive Orders N2520 and N2920. The Board of Directors in Oxford Preparatory Academy shall meet via the Zoom meeting platform. Members of the public who wish to access this board meeting may do so at the URL on the agenda or by dialing in to 1-669-900-6833. Meeting ID is 910-393-76008. The live stream may also be accessed on the Oppa website. Members of the public who wish to comment during the board meeting should complete the request to address the Oppa Board of Directors form and submit it in order to address the Oxford Preparatory Academy Board of Directors. Requests must be submitted by 5:30 p.m. on 1/28/21. You will be called on during the Zoom meeting to address the board either during public comments or prior to an agenda item. Please either log into the Zoom meeting at the URL on the agenda or call into 1-669-900-6833. Individual comments will be limited to 3 minutes. If an interpreter is needed for comments, they will be translated to English and the time limit shall be 6 minutes. The Board of Directors may limit the total time for public comment to a reasonable time. The board reserves the right to mute or remove a member of the public if comments or actions disrupts the board's meeting. I'm going to call this meeting to order at 5:38 p.m. and do roll call. Danelli Agarwal.
Present.
Joseph Haney is present. Paul Kagoo.
Here.
All right. Raymond Jackson.
Happily present.
Okay. Amy Smith.
Present.
And Delight Travis.
Present.
Fantastic. Next up is approval of the agenda for the regular meeting of the Oxford Preparatory Academy Board of Directors on January 28th, 2021. It is recommended the Board of Directors approve the agenda for the regular meeting of the Oxford Preparatory Academy Board of Directors on January 28th, 2021. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Do I have a second? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? This motion passes unanimously. We will move to closed session in just a moment. 2 items for discussion. First, public employee performance evaluation, section 54957, executive director, and B, threat to public services or facilities, section 54956.5 and section 54957, public health emergency. Do we have any comments on the closed session agenda items?
Sorry, I was muted. No, we don't.
Okay, then I'm going to have us dismissed to closed session at 5:39 p.m. We will return at approximately 7 o'clock. Thank you.
Good.
All right, thank you very much. We return now to open session at 7:04 p.m. with nothing to report in terms of action taken in closed session. We're now up for flag salute. Do we have anyone in particular lined up?
We do not,
Then may I ask Mr. Jackson to lead us in the flag salute?
but I do have my flag tonight. So one moment. All right.
Okay. All right. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Next up is public comment, oral communications, non-agenda items. The public, including public attending the teleconference location, are invited to address the board regarding items not listed on the agenda. No individual presentation shall be for more than 3 minutes, and the total time for this purpose shall not exceed 15 minutes. Ordinarily, board members will not respond to presentations and no action can be taken. However, the board may give direction to staff following a presentation. Please turn in the request to address the Oppa Board of Directors form and submit in order to address the Oxford Preparatory Academy Board of Directors. Dr. Kernan, do we have any public comment cards?
We do not have any non-agendized items.
Okay, then we'll move on to the consent items. And on the consent calendar tonight, we have 3 items. Minutes from the regular meeting of the Oppa Board of Directors on December 10, 2020 and January 5, 2021. A donation from the Black BOD Giving Fund of $100 for Oppa SD, and a January 2021 Oppa Personnel Report.
You have to read all that.
I got to read every name. Yeah. It is recommended the board approve consent items A through C. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda items A through C.
All right. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. All those in favor of approving consent items A through C, say aye.
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 Those opposed? This motion passes unanimously. We now move to items scheduled for presentation. Presentations are limited to 10 minutes. First up is recognition of Oppa Charter School Teachers of the Year, Ms. Reim and Ms. Kaufman.
All right, so it is my great pleasure. I'm going to share my screen real quick to announce our 2 Oppa Teachers of the Year for the 2020-2021 school year. For Saddleback Valley, the amazing Christina Reim, who has been, and both of these teachers have been at Oppa for a very long time. They know all of our Oppa families, are great mentors to our Oppa teachers. Christina Reim from Saddleback Valley, as well as Karen Kaufman from our South Orange County campus. And Christina Reim teaches 2nd grade at our Saddleback Valley campus. And Karen Kaufman is our ed specialist, or one of our ed specialists, working with our Scholar Academy students at our South Orange County campus. And so these 2 teachers are going to be, or have been also submitted to the Orange County Department of Education as part of their Teacher of the Year program. And so they are in the running to be also our Orange County Department of Education, or Orange County Teachers of the Year. So we're looking forward to that nomination to the county level as well. And we're very excited. This is our first year as a charter school that charter schools have been invited to participate in the County Teacher of the Year program. And so we're really excited to have 2 such amazing representatives for Oppa to be able to send on to that County Teacher of the Year honor as well. So it's great that we are part of this program, and then we'll be able to be nominating people for this every year now as a charter school in Orange County. Very exciting.
Yay.
Yes, congrats.
Congratulations.
That's awesome. I remember seeing a YouTube video before we even got to Oppa of Miss Reim managing a whole class of 2nd graders trying to get into an auditorium. And I thought, I want her to teach my kids. She had such control over them. They had such respect for her. So super excited when my daughter had her. Congratulations to both of our school teachers.
Fantastic.
All right, next up is B, recognition of the 2021 Oppa School Choice video winners. Dr. Kernan.
And I am going to then move on. So this year we had a contest at each one of our school sites to choose or for students to turn in either art or videos showing what they thought about school choice and really why they love being at Oppa. And we had some amazing student entries, but I'm going to start first with Saddleback Valley and a little first grader from Miss Smith's class. And I have to admit that every time when I was creating this PowerPoint, every time I've seen this video, I'm going to put it like on my phone for when I'm, feeling a little bit down and watch this video, because you cannot be sad when you watch Laureline, in her video. So I'm going to play her real
Hi,
quick for
my
everyone.
name is Laureline. I am in Mrs. Smith's first grade class. Miss Penrose PE is so much fun. Mr. Sets plays a lot of cool music. So far, first grade has been great. I am so looking forward to second grade at OPA. Go champions! Bye!
So
Hi, my name is Laureline.
So Laureline was our TK through second grade winner at Saddleback Valley. And we also had an art entry who won that won for third through fifth grader. And that was our fourth grader, Lily Persick, in Miss Saller's classroom. And I'm actually just gonna expand her her picture a little bit so everybody can see it. If I can, I think it's gonna start playing the next video. But she did a great little picture about why she loves Oppa and the fact that she loves Oppa because of the great teachers that we have at Oppa. And then our 6th through 8th grade winner was an 8th grader, Athala Ikrar from Mr. Chandler and Miss McGee's classes.
Hi, my name is Athala Ikrar, proud student of Oxford Preparatory Academy, Oppa for short. I came to this school during 5th grade, so I've been here a month. Oppa has so many things to offer, which is why it's such a great school. The wonderful staff and team of teachers have always provided us support whenever us students needed it. They strive to bring us to exceptional levels of academic excellence. I also love the fact that we get many opportunities to grow and learn new things, from engaging electives to creative clubs, from fun field trips to playful projects, and from competitive contests to astounding assemblies. Oppa has it all. And that, my friends, it is why I love Oppa.
All right.
Hi,
So as
my
you
name
can
is
see,
Athala
we
Ikrar,
had some
proud student of Oxford.
amazing entries and the kids really worked hard on these videos. The staff all voted. And again, these are our 3 winners from Saddleback Valley. And then from South Orange County, we actually had a tie for TK through 2. Both students in 1st grade from Miss Stanford's class. So we had Estelle.
Hi, Oppa champions. 5 things I love about Oppa. First, teachers. Hi, Miss Stanford. Look at that math go. 2, leadership. Miss Alvarado cares about our community and how we do at school. Number 3, music. 5, Mr. T. Number 4, activities. Volleyball, cheer, chess, and Minecraft. Number 5 is all of you.
All right. And
Hi, Oppa Champ.
And then our other winner for TK through 2 was Sarah Lamari.
I'm Sarah. I fell in love with Oppa since day 1 because I made a lot of friends instantly. I enjoy learning new things every day. I like reading books in our wonderful library. I love the experiments we do at our science lab. Oppa has a big playground where we can play and celebrate special events with great joy. I love all the staff because they teach us how to be smart and how to be a good citizen. With virtual learning, Oppa keeps us all together because the Oppa spirit lives with us. I love Oppa and I can't wait to go back soon.
These videos are so great. It's so great to see all of our
I'm
students.
Sarah. I fell in love with.
And then we have grades 3 through 5 from SOC. David Beeman from Mr. Callan's 3rd grade class.
My name is David Beeman. I am in the 3rd grade. I love Oppa for the following reasons. 1. The staff are very nice and gentle. For example, when I need help, the staff and teachers help me. 2. We have fun events such as Crazy Hair Day, Crazy Socks Day, and more. Once we had a cool one, we have fun, and it was really fun. I really hope that it happens again soon. 3. They want to keep us safe. Oppa gives a scholarship to good students for taking care of themselves, others, and Oppa. Thank you for watching. Bye.
All right, and David's volume on his video was a little bit low, so I'm sorry that it was a little bit difficult to hear him. And then grades 6 through 8, we have Ava in Miss White and Miss Franey's class. So this one actually doesn't have any sound, but it's a really cute little flip cartoon. So this was a really great activity for our students. We got a lot of amazing entries, and we're hoping to continue this tradition on into the future and really be able to have our students create really creative ways to show why they love Oppa and be able to really be recognized for their efforts and show off all of the great things that they're learning now about technology and about making videos and making flip grids. And so it's a great way for us to still be able to, even though we're virtual, recognize our students and show off all of the amazing things that they're doing on campus. So congratulations to all of our winners and to all of our students who turned in their videos. It was a really, really hard choice. And we had just amazing entries for the contest. So I want to thank everyone who participated and then really congratulate all of our winners for all of their hard work.
Yay!
Fantastic
Congrats.
job.
That is amazing.
Oh, shoot.
Let's see. All right. Oh, this is awkward. Next up is C, recognition of service for Joseph Haney. Mr. Jackson.
I'm an ugly crier, by the way. Just want to put that out there.
So Raymond is actually, I think, wanted to go last so that he could cry through the entire thing and then have to be the ugly crier at the end that sobs through his part. So,
So if I may,
You want to cry first? Do it.
Do it. We do have a plaque to honor you with Joseph, since this will be your last meeting and last duty as our board president and board member. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of this loose side acrylic, cool looking plaque. It's just our gift of recognition to you. It says Oxford Preparatory Academy recognizes Joseph Haney for dedication and leadership as a member of the Board of Directors 2017 to 2021. You will receive this in the mail shortly, and I hope it brings you good memories as you look at it in an office or in your home. We do have some speakers lined up who have said they would like to talk with you, give you a message. Board members too. And then we have a couple resolutions that we want to share. So I think speakers, I think we have an order to them. And who will be our first speaker?
So yeah, so we had a lot of people who really wanted to express how much they really appreciate all of the work that you've done here at Oppa and just everything that you've done to make sure that we are where we are today with a 7-year renewal for one school, a 5-year renewal for another school, and just getting everyone through everything that has happened in the past to get to this point where we are doing so great and providing so many great opportunities for students. So our first speaker that I want to call, and if you're speaking, you can just feel free to unmute yourselves and take it away. So our first speaker is Eric Hostetter.
Hi, Mr. Haney. First of all, I want to say how much I appreciate your background. I'm a big fan of architecture, and I install a house is a great choice, by the way. So I'm Eric Hostetter. I'm currently serving as the VP of Communications for Oppa SV Honor Society. So we'd like to express our thanks to you for your contributions, particularly during this really unprecedented time in our organization's rather short history. You know, when so many schools were, I felt ill-prepared to launch to distance and hybrid learning, I feel like Oppa really set the bar. And we couldn't have been able to accomplish this without the great work from you and your fellow board members and staff working together to make this transition easier for, in particular, our kids. So please know that our continued success would not have been possible without people like you. So on behalf of the Oppa SV Honor Society team, thanks. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Eric. We also have one of our SV teachers, Katie Saller.
Hello, can everybody hear me?
Yep.
Wanted to take a moment to thank Mr. Haney and his family for their service to Oppa. I was able to serve and get to know the Haney family years ago when Joshua became a member of my classroom. From there, I got to interact with Mrs. Haney when I roped her in to be my room parent, and Mr. Haney shared his love of history during our field trips. It can be nerve-wracking to have a child of a board member in your room, but Mr. Haney made it very clear that he fully supported the teachers. He took initiative to get to know the climate on campus, and I appreciated that because in the past, teachers have often felt silenced. Mr. Haney worked hard to help Oppa come out of terrible situations and rewrite an outdated compensation package. I know that the hours of work you have put into this organization is substantial, and I thank you for truly caring not only about me personally, but all the teachers in our Oppa community.
Thank you, Katie. We also have from SOC, Nico Karst.
Thank you, board members, administrators, teachers, and parents for giving me the opportunity to speak today. My name is Naiko Karst, and I am a parent of 5 children with 4 at Oppa SOC. I wanted to express my gratitude for Mr. Haney and all the amazing work that he has done. Ever since my family and I joined Oppa SOC, we have had to deal with a steady stream of sometimes enormous hurdles at Oppa. It felt very unstable for us at times, and it was incredible. It was the incredible teachers, faculty, and parents at Oppa that made us want to stay. With Mr. Haney at the helm, I knew we'd be okay. Mr. Haney has always been there at the front of the line to protect us, to fight for us, to lead and encourage us. It was his unrelenting and unwavering mission for transparency, fairness, and high academic standards that made us feel that our future was secure. Mr. Haney and his wife and children have sacrificed so much for us, including hours upon hours and days on days spent on the renewal process for both of our campuses. This is just one example of the many things that he has accomplished during his term. As a direct result of his commitment and hard work, we have a stable and secure future at Oppa today. Thank you, Mr. Haney, for always being open and honest with me. You've been the ever-present stabilizing force that kept Oppa grounded. Thank you for responding to all my emails, taking my calls, attending every district hearing, excuse me, and leading the team of board members at each and every board meeting over the past several years. This was not an easy feat, but you managed it gracefully and with humor, and I'm truly grateful beyond words for everything that you have done. You have helped build an amazing team of leaders at Oppa, a team that deserves our trust and confidence and wholeheartedly has mine. I hope that now you'll have more time to relax and enjoy your beautiful family as you so greatly deserve. Thank you again.
Thank you, Ms. Karst. And we also have another SV teacher.
That was awesome. Sorry.
Kelsey, are you on?
Yes. Sorry, I didn't know if Mr. Jackson was going to talk some more. Hi, I just wanted to take a second to thank you, Mr. Haney, from the bottom of my heart for your years of dedication to our school board. I've been blessed to teach both Josh and then a few years later, Charlotte. I also was able to have your wife help me as my room mom, and grateful to you to serve as my place of employment board member for so many years. Outside of this, I know your family juggles numerous activities and jobs of their own, but you've always showed up for us, especially in our time of need. I know you came into our board during a very tumultuous time, but you have worked countless hours, not to mention extremely late night hours, to make difficult and necessary decisions to turn our schools into successful and top earning schools. I and so many of my colleagues appreciate your time you have given to not only all the board meetings, but the behind the scenes work, the countless emails, and all the extra time you've given to really listen to all the stakeholders' wants, wishes, and needs. Please know all your decisions and changes have made an everlasting impact and have been greatly appreciated by all. Thank you again for your dedication to the parents, the staff, and most importantly, all of the students at Oppa. You will be missed, but I hope you now get to take this time to enjoy with your wonderful family. Thank you again.
Thank you, Ms. Davis. We also have Delight Travis.
Well, Joseph, I'm going to try to get through this. So I first met you when you were a fellow parent and our kids were together in Miss Ream's class. And later I really got to know you on the board. I've quickly learned some key things about you that really just made our Oppa board amazing and our school amazing. Your strength of leadership, your thoughtful approach, and your caring for our students, the teachers, staff, and parents is unparalleled. You have helped move Oppa forward at an especially challenging time. And now both schools are thriving thanks to you. The future is bright because of the service you gave to Oppa. Thank you for everything you've done and everything that will be touched beyond today and into tomorrow with our kids.
And also,
She's already crying.
The first time I knew of Joseph was when he was voted in by the board of directors years ago during what was a very contentious and frankly brutal board meeting that left many of us in tears. I had no idea who he was and where he came from. I had a very deep distrust of the board, its board members, and its intentions at the time. During that period, my faith in the leadership of this school was tested beyond its limits. Joseph, you know my husband Ashwin, who you met that night and talked with you through the rough time our school was going through, kept insisting that he thought you were a good guy with good intentions. I, however, was unwilling to trust the leadership at all, and I said, well, Joseph needs to prove himself first before I'll have confidence in him. Well, you beyond proved yourself. You rebuilt trust in the leadership that was completely gone. At that time, I was praying for this school to stay open for all these children and families that needed it to go on. When things were at their lowest, you didn't give up. Instead, You walked steadfastly forward to lead us and strengthen us when honestly, we thought all was possibly lost. I know it wasn't easy. You had a lot to overcome. My simple words won't quite do justice to all of your many accomplishments and the leadership you've given us these past years. Your honesty and integrity was a shining beacon in what was a very dark time in our school's history. The countless hours of work and guidance you gave to help us proceed will never be truly known, as you're so quiet about all you had to do. We appreciate it, and honestly, you and Raymond were an answer to our prayers. I have been incredibly fortunate to have gotten to know you better these past few months, and I'm going to miss you. For me, I hope to carry on the flame that you reconstructed and honor all your hard work by doing the best I can to carry on the legacy that you helped shape. Thank you again for all you did, do, and continue to guide us through. We are lucky and blessed to have had you be a part of this organization. Thank you for the many unselfish years you spent bringing about a transformation to this institution. You have changed the direction of many lives, and we are so grateful. Congratulations on your retirement. You more than earned it.
I think Raymond needs to pass the Kleenex over to David.
You've got to pass the 10 minutes, right?
I don't think so. We have a few more. So you're
I'm
gonna have
doing my best to keep it together.
You're gonna have to suck it up.
All right.
Aurelia Berardino is next.
Hi, everyone. Good evening, OPA board members, staff, and parents. When I was considering what to say tonight, I took stock of what I've learned about Mr. Haney and about Mr. Haney's character over the past few years. 3 things came to mind: strength, wisdom, and kindness. In the last few years, OPA has gone through many ups and downs. To get us through these tough times, OPA needed strong, capable, and brave leadership. And Mr. Haney stepped into the ring. He knew he was in for a fight. He knew he was going to take some punches, and he knew there would be some difficult rounds. However, he still stepped into the ring. A perfect example of his strength and his bravery. Through many difficult board meetings, parent meetings, authorizer meetings, and town halls, he took on punches. Sometimes he blocked them, and other times he punched back. He had the wisdom to know what was needed when. I'm sure there were times he wondered if he could go 12 rounds. A little bruised and battered, he remained strong and helped lead us to the first 7-year renewal of a charter school in Orange County. Thank you, Mr. Haney. Thank you. My daughter thanks you, and I thank you. Through this entire process, I've considered Mr. Haney a friend. Not a friend in a traditional sense. We don't hang out on weekends. We don't call each other over the phone. However, Mr. Haney has shown the true characteristics of a friend. He is loyal, trustworthy, kind, and not afraid to be brutally honest when he needs to be. And most of all, he always has your best interests at heart. OPA is in a better place now than when you first volunteered for this enormous job. And we have you and your fellow board members to thank for that. Thank you for your hard work and sacrifice these past years. We wish you all the best. And whenever you return to my campus to pay a visit, you must come back and pay a visit. Know that you will always receive a warm welcome and see a friendly face. Thank you, Mr. Haney. My daughter thanks you, my family thanks you, and we'll never forget the sacrifice that you made and where we were and where we are now. Thank you.
And now Betsy Freiler.
Hi, I'm Betsy Freiler. I'm co-VP of the Honor Society at the SOC campus, and I'd like to thank Mr. Haney. Board service is one of the hardest volunteer roles, and it is a volunteer position. Mr. Haney has served on this board for a few years now and helped our OPA family through the darkest times since opening. He's been there for us through each campus's renewal and now guiding us through these terrible COVID waters. We are so grateful for the dedication you've given us and the guidance you've provided for us. Regardless of your current stance on opening, we wouldn't even have a school to open without Mr. Haney. We owe him a debt of gratitude for all he's done for us. Thank you for tirelessly serving each one of us and trying to create a brighter OPA future. You will be missed.
And Brandy Matthews, and Addie, apparently.
Hello, I know, I can't change my name on here. I tried. What can we say besides thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of our hearts?
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Haney.
The kids on to say thank you because you were doing it for them and not, I know, I'm gonna get teary-eyed. It was all for them. So we thank you so much for everything you've done these past 4 years. They're in a better place because of you. And not only did you take out the old board, which was crazy town back then, behind the scenes, but you cleaned up the mess. I know, it was crazy. But we cleaned up the mess. You guys cleaned up the mess, and now we are left with this wonderful school. I don't think people realize the time and energy you all have put in away from your families, and it's all here. So thank you, thank you. You have led us in a positive direction and helped us get both schools renewed for 5 and 7 years, and for that, we are so grateful. You've helped develop a good relationship with our districts, and I hate this is the way that we are able to say thank you. I'm a people person. I want to be there in person. I want to have dinner and get to celebrate with everybody, and that's just my norm, I guess. I don't like doing this over Zoom. But so I hate it can't be in person, so I'm sorry about that. But I'm speaking hopefully for all the parents and families who aren't able to come on, but thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We wouldn't be in this position if it weren't for you. So thank you.
Thank you, Brandy. And now I'm going to turn it over to Raymond and let him get the Kleenex out.
Can I say a little something first before I read my thing?
Of course.
Supposed to read? Okay. Cool. So there are people that we meet throughout our hopefully long lives that impact us. And I don't mean they teach us a new word. I mean, they change the trajectory of our lives. Joseph he's one of those people. Delight, you better turn your video back on. Joseph is smart, and he's handsome, and he's articulate, and he's honest, and he's reliable and forthright. He's committed to doing the right thing, no matter how difficult. And he reads really, really fast. For those of you that don't know, I met Joseph when Oppa was different. Today, Oppa has 2 thriving schools with nice long charters. Oppa values their students, their parents, the staff, their leadership, an open communication. Oppa listens. Oppa values their relationships. And today Oppa does the right things, no matter how hard it might be. Joseph, thank you for showing me the way. Thank you for delivering thousands of Oppa families to the land you promised us was there. Thank you. Love you, buddy. I told you I was an ugly crier. You don't believe me. Okay, so now I read the resolution, right, Amy?
Yep. Well,
Okay.
first, yeah, you can just read it.
Can you pin Joseph's video up there? He better be crying. I'm gonna be mad if he's not.
I'm chewing on things. I've been kicking the wall. I've taken strategic sips of water.
Yep.
I'm doing it all.
Good.
I even muted my video for a moment.
I know, I saw that. I was going to unmute you.
Nice. And for those of you that think Joseph would have signed up for this if he knew how hard it was, I don't think he would have. I think he would have run for the hills. I think that's what he really would have done. Anyway, because it was so hard. Okay. Resolution honoring Joseph Haney for distinguished service on the board of directors of Oxford Preparatory Academy. Whereas we are here today to express special recognition for Joseph W. Haney III and to honor him for distinguished service of the board of directors of Oxford Preparatory Academy, Oppa. a California nonprofit public benefit corporation. And whereas Joseph has been a member of the board of directors of OPA continuously for 4 years, working to ensure its charter schools are highly sustainable, operate with sound ethical and legal governance and fiscal management, and the nonprofit organization has adequate resources for the school to achieve its vision of establishing centers for learning where students from kindergarten to 8th grade are inspired to pursue university level academic studies as well as to gain skills to be successful in the 21st century global community. And whereas Joseph has served as president and member of the board of directors of OPA, with the outstanding qualities of leadership, which include a passion for the organizational mission and inspiring others, being approachable and available, a good listener and communicator, demonstrating integrity, respect, and humility, being a strategist and visionary thinker, and encouraging open communication and constructive debate. And whereas OPA has served as an exemplary president and member of the board of directors of OPA while carrying out key responsibilities, which include cultivating a constructive partnership with families, staff, administration, and charter authorizers, and representing OPA at annual meetings and community events. And whereas Joseph has displayed the highest example of character, ethics, morals, unselfish service, and will be missed as a professional and close colleague by our board of directors, families, teachers, and staff of OPA. Therefore, be it resolved, the board of directors of OPA expresses its sincere appreciation to Joseph for his dedication to the proposition that all students are unique and gifted individuals, and for fulfilling OPA's mission to build a community that works collaboratively to develop lifelong learners in a safe and caring educational environment where students are challenged, scholarship is expected, and the differences are valued. Now, therefore, I, Raymond Jackson, whoever might be the president, I don't think we covered that yet.
No,
The president of the board for OPA, along with its students, teachers, staff, board of directors, recognize and honor Joseph Haney for his distinguished service on the board of directors of OPA. Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you, Raymond.
You want to read the other resolution? And we'll take a vote on it when we get to the item, but you can cover that one because that one I think will make Joseph smile.
Okay. A resolution to approve naming the Oxford Preparatory Academy football tournament. Whereas Joseph W. Haney III served as a distinguished president and member of the board of directors of Oxford Preparatory Academy, OPA, for 4 years. And whereas his tireless leadership, determination, and high expectations for accountability and performance contributed to the California Department of Education's distinction of OPA schools as high performing and operating the first school in the state to receive a 7-year term of renewal. And whereas the naming of an annual school event is an appropriate recognition for an exceptional leader who champions teamwork and community participation. And whereas the OPA Intercampus Football Tournament is an engaging community event and celebration that connects students, families, teachers, and staff. Therefore, be it resolved, the Board of Directors of Oxford Preparatory Academy hereby names the annual school football tournament the Haney Bowl. Haha. Love you, buddy.
Love you too, Raymond. I'm going to move on to the November, December financial reports and mute my camera for a moment, if that's okay with everybody. Ms. Parikh at EdTech. Floor is yours.
Tough act to follow. Do I have sharing capabilities?
You should. Let me make you co-host real quick. Okay. There you go.
Sorry, 1 second. Okay. So today we're presenting the November and December financial update, but I'm also presenting a few updates in terms of federal stimulus and state budget dollars that might be coming towards OPA. So I'm going to start with the November and December financial update. So on slide 2, we have SOC's operating income projected for this year at 1.1 million. So overall, really stable operating income. We are about $24,000 lower than the previous forecast, but due to a few of the adjustments. So the 4 adjustments we made, the first one is related to salary turnover. There was about $73,000 in savings that resulted from salary turnover in both certificated and classified staff positions. The LCFF revenue, we saw about $5,000 adjustment to our forecast for your primary source of revenue. And this was a result of an adjustment to your unduplicated count. Now that we have more official numbers, the unduplicated count is your population of low income English learners, foster youth students, and that percentage was lower than what we had budgeted. And so that reduces the amount of revenue. It's not huge, it's about $5,000, but it does reduce that revenue forecast a little bit. The other adjustment is mental health reimbursement. So you get a reimbursement from your SELPA from special ed for providing mental health services. And it's based on how many services you have as of the start of December. The service count was lower than what we had budgeted. And so that resulted in about $26,000 less revenue than what we had budgeted from that source of special ed dollars. The other adjustment was salary adjustments. So the unfreezing of the salary schedule, we calculated about a $66,000 increase in salaries. But overall, all of these adjustments netted to only a $24,000 drop in our operating income, and we're still above that 1.1 million. And so overall looking really stable for the year forecast.
May I know what salary turnover is?
Similar.
May I know what salary turnover
Sorry,
is,
what was that?
please? What is salary turnover?
Oh yeah, so that's so with positions that turned over, so staff that had left, and then new staff that had come in. Some of the positions, the salary differences that were between who had left and who had come in, and then some of the positions that we didn't end up filling, and so those were some savings there as well. So for SV, we are projected at a $768,000 operating income. This is about $53,000 lower than the previous forecast. Overall, still a strong operating income for the year. We have been projecting, surplus for most of the year. So the adjustments here are similar, but at a different scale. So for the staff turnover, we had about $38,000 in savings. We had here we just had positions where we had turnover rather than any open positions that weren't ultimately filled, and so the savings were less than the SOC. For LCFF revenue, we had about $10,000 in savings, increased revenue projections, and that's result of similar to SOC, where we adjusted based on your CalPADS information, and the amounts actually came in higher at SV than what we had budgeted, so that's netting to about $10,000 additional revenue. There's $4,000 in local revenue that was received. This is interest on your county account and some local rent reimbursement that you received. So it's about $4,000 in revenue. So those were all kind of the positive impacts. And then the negative impacts, there was $2,000 in virtual field trip expenses that came in. We originally had budgeted for field trip expenses, but had taken it out of the budget, anticipating not having field trips, but we were able to have some virtual field trips that were able to, so then those were added expenses of $2,000. The other negative impacts, the salary adjustments, $38,000 is related to unfreezing the salary scale. So that's what we calculated would be the cost to SV. And then the mental health reimbursement, similar, the mental health service count was lower than what we had budgeted. And so it was substantially lower compared to SOC. So that's why we're seeing a $65,000 decrease in terms of that revenue source, which is more than what at SOC, since the count was a little bit lower at SV. Any questions on any of that?
Any questions from the board?
No.
So then this is the check and credit card register for November and December. The first two are just the field trip expenses that I flagged on the SV slide. The last one was Revolution Foods, which we just flagged. It wasn't something that resulted in any adjustments. It was just we had flagged it, but since it was a different amount than the prior months, and normally there's fluctuations in this since it's based on how many meals you serve, but it was substantially higher, so we just wanted to look into it a little bit further, but no adjustments based on it. We're still within budget in terms of our food expenses. Any questions on this slide?
No.
Okay, so then the last three slides that I'll go over are updates based on the federal stimulus and the preliminary state budget. The federal stimulus package, there was a second federal stimulus package passed in December, and part of the stimulus package does have additional funding for K-12 education. It's called ESSER 2. So you received what we're calling ESSER 1 in the first stimulus package. ESSER 2 is essentially additional funding that you'll be receiving directly from the federal government, and it's relatively flexible in the allowable expenses, essentially addressing learning loss mitigation, addressing distance learning, potential PPE costs. So you have some flexibility in terms of spending it. Based on preliminary allocations, we're looking at about $20,000 additional revenue for each site. So that's the biggest piece on the federal stimulus package. That was additional dollars coming to K-12. The other points on this slide, the internet access, that's not something directly to K-12, but they did increase the credit for low-income families to get internet access, and so a credit on their bill directly that they can get. So that might be something that maybe some of your families could take advantage of. And then CRF was an additional source of revenue in the first stimulus package, and they extended the deadline to May 31st. OPA has already spent those funds, so it does not impact you in that sense. The next two slides go over the governor's state budget proposal. So just as a kind of big picture, the governor usually gives us a preliminary budget in January of each year. We usually get a revised budget in May, and then the budget does not get approved until June. But in the budget from January, we did get a few updates. And so there was 2 one-time grants that the governor proposed in the budget for this year. And so they're called the In-Person Instruction Grant or the Safe Schools for All program, and then the Expanded Learning Time and Academic Intervention program. Both of these have additional funding that could be pretty substantial for OPA if it was to get approved. But the key thing to note is that both of these need to go through the state legislature for approval before it can get implemented. So basically everything that I have on this slide can adjust depending on what the legislature actually approves. For the in-person instruction grant, the idea is additional dollars given to schools that are able to open for in-person instruction. There's a lot of uncertainty on whether this is actually going to pass, and the original timelines the governor proposed with the first deadline of February 1st, which is Monday, is fairly unlikely to hold at this point. And so depending on if this gets approved and when all the deadlines come around, the idea is to have a safety plan in place and then have that submitted, and then you would be able to get additional funding to help with additional testing requirements and kind of some of the challenges of teaching and educating in this environment. The Expanded Learning Time and Academic Intervention program is also one-time in nature. It essentially is intended to extend the school year and provide more academic interventions, so potentially having summer school or additional hours added to the year. There hasn't been too much information on this in terms of exactly how you can spend it, but it seems relatively flexible. And so if it does get passed, then that would be additional dollars that could be coming to OPA as well. The proposal for next year, so those two would be things that could potentially be coming in before June of this year. For next year, the budget outlook looks really positive at this point. The state's tax revenues are trending high because primarily due to income taxes coming in higher than what they had budgeted. And so that's helping with a little bit more of a stable outlook for next year. So unlike this year where we had a 0% COLA for LCFF, which is your primary revenue source, we're looking at an almost a 4% increase. That comes out to about $300 per ADA that you would be receiving additional compared to this year. And so that's really positive in terms of funding. The caveat I have here is on the third box, the ADA. There is no hold harmless in the budget proposal at this point, which means that if you had dips in ADA or decreases in enrollment, you wouldn't be held harmless and you would be funded based on what your actual attendance and your enrollment is next year. So that could be a kind of a negative impact to our total revenue if enrollment or attendance is less than what we end up budgeting. On the positive side, the deferrals for next year, there's only a June deferral that remains, which is quite different than this year where we're seeing February through June. So 5 months of deferrals versus next year only projecting 1 month. So much better shape on that. And then in terms of just a few other updates from the budget, the STRS and PERS, which are your retirement contributions, the STRS rate is slightly lower, which will be savings and expenses. And there is a teacher training and development one-time funding that's up in this proposal. And so that might be some additional funds that OPA can tap into as well. Again, this is all just a proposal. We'll get a revised proposal in May. So this could all change at that point, depending on how things go. But just wanted to keep you up to date on what's in the works at this point. That's all I have.
All right.
Thank you, Ms. Parikh. Any questions or comments from the board?
Joseph, I have a question. Actually, I have two questions. So one is the low-income internet access proposal. It looks like that's already available, right? So could that be something that either goes out to our parents through the chancellor emails or Dr. Kernan's emails, just telling the parents that there's an opportunity, you may be eligible, you may want to look into it?
Yeah, and we actually have sent that information out to parents a couple of times, and
Okay.
we also have it available on our website, but we can definitely add that for anyone who may have missed it in the future, because there's a variety of different ways that that students can get low cost or even free internet service if they don't have it available to them, but we can definitely put that information out to parents again.
I think with the virtual learning, it obviously internet bills perhaps have gone up, so it might be a bigger share of some parents' wallets. So we should, if that's possible. The second question I have is who does the analysis on which funds to go after and so on? This is me being a new board member asking a question, but is that Dr. Kernan? Is that you or is Jill? Do you do it? I mean, who does and who proposes that we go after these funds? How do you guys? What's the strategy there?
So usually we'll receive information if it's from the California Department of Education or different sources. And then we sort of weigh what it would cost us or what the different things that the requirements are versus the amount of money that we would get, as well as some of the restrictions. A lot of the different funding sources have some pretty strict restrictions that, and because we don't have a giant amount of low-income students or students in different demographics, sometimes those restrictions really make it so that the funding it doesn't really apply to us. But like looking at the new proposal from the governor for schools reopening, at first it looked like there were going to be too many restrictions with testing, and it would have caused us to be spending more money to get the funds than we would actually be taking in. But we were able to work on getting free testing through a new lab in Valencia. And so that made it so that now that funding source is a viable funding source for us if it does get approved. So really kind of as an admin team, we'll weigh those different pluses and minuses and then go after those funding sources that are going to provide us with the most benefit for our students.
I think our chancellors also, they've been successful in pursuing site level grants. They're pretty small. We haven't gone after large foundation funding, but it's certainly, as we're looking at our future strategically, it's I think important for us to think about developing a giving plan too, including those sources. But mostly it's public funded sources. But as Amy said, a lot of it is kind of in kind in terms of what we're getting for free because we're sourcing everything we can that are going to provide health and safety and instruction for our students.
Any additional questions from the board? All right, thank you very much, Ms. Parikh. Next up is E, OPA School Reports with Ms. Alvarado and Mr. Bridges. Dr. Kernan, will they be doing them together or?
I believe they're going to do it together tonight.
All right.
So I think Denise has co-host capabilities, so she's going to take it away.
Yes. Just expand. Oh, right there. That's where I should keep it. Good evening, OPA families and members of the board and everyone else joining us. Thank you for joining us this evening. We have a lot of great information to share. And I just want to congratulate again our SOC and SV students for submitting their videos. It was so much fun to watch them and I keep watching them over and over again. So we will get started with our presentation to continue with a celebration of school of choice and lots of other different activities that have occurred on our campus. We want to share with you that our PAL program, both at SV and SOC, is sponsoring the Kids Heart Challenge. And I'm going to share a video with you and I will let our PAL teachers introduce themselves through this video.
Hi, I'm Ms. Roni from the SOC campus.
And I'm Mrs. Annette representing both campuses. The American Heart Association needs our help, so we are hosting the Kids Heart Challenge during the month of February, which is Heart Month. This year, both campuses are hosting this fundraiser.
Last year, SOC was able to raise over $10,000 for the American Heart Association. Our school gets a percentage back, which we were able to purchase grade level recess and lunch play equipment from last year's fundraiser. So when it's safe for students to play during recess and lunch, each grade level will have their own set of basketballs and footballs, handballs, etc.
Both campuses will be attending a virtual assembly this Friday to kick off this event. We are asking all students to register and pledge to be heart healthy. Registration information has been sent out by teachers in their weekly email and Chancellor's Sunday direction. Registration does not require any monetary donations. You can also download the Kids Heart Challenge app to register for free.
Throughout this challenge, we will be providing physical and fun activities for students to do at home. The Kids Heart Challenge sends students on a mission to move 60 minutes a day, drink water instead of soda, say no to vaping and tobacco, be kind, lend a helping hand, and be a leader, all the while raising money for our school and the American Heart Association. As students raise money, they're going to receive little prizes along the way that align with each challenge. Due to COVID, these prizes will be distributed towards the end of the school year or the beginning of next year.
There is also a class challenge where the first class at each campus to reach 100% registration will have the opportunity to participate in a class Zoom activity, a virtual pajama and favorite healthy breakfast day. And that teacher will also earn an Amazon gift card.
As we take the pledge to be heart healthy, we would love to see pictures of your champion completing their challenges, which you can post directly to Tree Ring or on social media with the hashtag OPA Together Apart.
We can't wait to see your heart healthy pledges.
Okay, and
Hi, I'm Ms. Rooney.
so this is one of the ways I wanted to share with our families that our OPA families, that this is one of the ways in which we want to stay connected with all of our students and our families. All this information will be posted on our social media just so that we can keep parents informed, and also on our Sunday messages. We also want to celebrate with all of our community that we have received different recognitions or a recognition from the from the ERP, and this is the Educational Results Partnership. And what they have done is they're sponsored by the CVEE, and this is the only school recognition program in the state using student achievement outcomes as a criteria. The honor roll is available, is a valuable resource for our schools to identify successful peers and learn about best practices that are improving student achievement. Mr. Bridges and I, both schools, we both received an email with this recognition, and we share this information with our families at the last Sunday message with information about what this means, and also the criteria on how we were selected. We didn't apply for this. It was something that they reached out to us because of our student success and academic excellence. Also, for families who may not know, 2021 Best Schools, there's an app, or there is a website in which schools are rated. And on this, this app or this website, we are ranked as #1 charter school in OC and number 5 in the Los Angeles area for the SOC campus. And for SV, we are ranked as #2 charter school in the OC, and number 12 in the Los Angeles area. So I just wanted to share with you guys two of those ratings that are on the website. Feel free to go into the website and add your own comments. We invite all of our families to do this, but one of them is fabulous teachers and administration. This is our 9th year at the school, and we would not want our children's elementary and middle school years to be at any other school. The academics are rigorous and help prepare the kids for high school and beyond. And the second review, one of the several reviews that are on there, this was about a month ago also. I feel so honored to be part of the OPA family. Knowing our children's education will be provided by such a caring, upbeat group of professionals is so important as a parent. We tell all of our parents' friends about OPA and our wonderful teachers and staff. Mr. Bridges?
Hello, good evening. Here are a few other reviews that were on the sites. I love the interactions my students have with the front office, admin, teachers, and other staff. They love going to school even during this time. And my students are still being pushed academically, and that OPA does an excellent job cultivating open-minded learners of their students. They use curriculum that is researched and tested and presented in a wide variety of methods in line with the educational philosophy. The families are involved and active. The environment is inclusive and diverse, and I am grateful to have my children the members of this special community. So those are just a few of the reviews from the website that we took screenshots of today. And today and yesterday, going on to the next slide. Perfect. We had our 2 parent information meetings, PIMs. They were well attended. I think we had about 75 participants at our PM parent information meeting last night, and approximately 50 participants this morning. And it's great. We shared anything, as you can see from the bullet points, our mission and vision, charter, our story, goals, the niche website and reviews, and the honor roll, testing data. We shared our bell schedules, and that included our traditional bell schedules, and then the current programs that we're offering to families during this COVID and during the pandemic. on how to apply. And we really pushed that our prospective parents visit these websites to research not only Oxford Preparatory Academy, but all schools that they're interested in, because that's what you truly need to make a great choice for your children. And we are, next slide. It's hard when you don't have control. We are beginning our second round of professor observations and evaluations. At the end of this week, we'll send, at the end of next week, we'll send some information out to the teachers that are being observed to set up a second observation and evaluation in the month of in February. And then we'll utilize both of those evaluations to create a summative at the end of the year. And we have our upcoming events. The Kids Heart Challenge from the 1st to the 26th. I'm super excited about the assembly that we're having tomorrow morning. During that presentation, I didn't get to see that video that they filmed. And what stuck out to me is drink water instead of soda. So that'll be something that I'm focusing on for that week. It'll be really tough, but I'm gonna give it a shot. February 3rd, grade level spelling bee. It's the Scripps National Spelling Bee.
Something real quick. May I share what just deadline about the spelling bee? I just wanted to share with all of our families. We want to represent at the national level, but we can't do it without our students signing up, practicing, and the deadline to sign up is on the 1st. So please make sure you sign up for the spelling bee at the local level, which is at Oppa. Thank you.
We have a couple of parent meetings, school site council at SV, Honor Society, Valentine's Day celebrations, President's Day, no school on the 12th and the 15th, and we have our open house, which we're looking forward to present virtually to our families. So we've worked as an administrative team to try to figure out the best way to present our open house to our families virtual. So we're super excited about that March 10th and 11th day, and can't wait to sit down with all of our professors and share what we have planned for them. And that's all I have.
Thank you. That is all we have. Thank you so much for allowing us to share some of the celebrations we have coming up and that we have celebrated already, which keeps us together, both campuses. A lot of it, if you guys have noticed, we have done together, not only at one campus or the other, but everything we do, we try to do as a community. Thank you.
Joseph, you're muted.
Okay, I fixed it. All right. Board reports and comments. Let's see here. We will, Denali Agarwal.
I haven't gone yet.
We have one more presentation.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You're right. I give up. I should probably step down off the board.
Yeah, would you just start doing this yesterday? Come on.
And give you retirement.
I apologize. I absolutely apologize. Next up is item F, OPA organizational update with Dr. Kernan, Chief Academic Officer. Please, Dr. Kernan, the digital floor is yours.
Thank you. All right. So I just wanted to give a brief update. I already stole a bunch of the Chancellor's slides by recognizing the Teachers of the Year and the school choice winners. So I apologize to them for stealing some of their stuff. But again, they talked a little bit about the parent information meetings. Our school site administrators did a great job of putting those together. We had really great questions from all of our parents or all of our prospective parents. And it was just nice to get to see, hopefully some of our new students and parents that will be joining us for the upcoming school year. So again, this week is School Choice Week. And, you all got to see some of the amazing videos that students created and artwork that students created for School Choice Week. The schools also participated in theme days and other activities. We are excited. Open enrollment begins on February 19th. So if you know of any prospective parents, or if you have siblings that will hopefully be joining us next year, please make sure to go to our enrollment page or to our application page, www.applyopa.com, to enroll. And then our lottery will be held on April 28th, when we'll be able to let our prospective families and students know whether they have been accepted into OPA. So again, if you want any more information on enrollment, please make sure that you go to our website, or if you know of anybody who's interested in OPA, please also direct them to our website, where Ms. Fukuda Hadley has done an amazing job updating our enrollment page with FAQs and a lot of information for prospective families. This week and last week, all of our stakeholder groups have been participating in our annual Lcap survey. It says open until January 21st. That is actually a typo. It's open until tomorrow, January 29th. So if you haven't completed the annual Lcap survey, we please ask that you do so, because all of the responses to our survey really help inform our goals and our actions and our plans for our upcoming school year, and even how we can continue to improve this school year. We really do take everyone's input and use it to make our decisions. And right now we have over 1,000 student, staff, and parent responses, but we would really love to have a response from all of our families, all of our students, and all of our staff members. So again, please make sure that you go. There's a link on the very front page of our website that you can click on, and it'll take you right into the survey. And really the survey should only take about 10 minutes. So I really encourage everyone to make sure that they complete that. So school reopening, and kind of a little bit of information about where we are. Things are actually very optimistic right now. Current case numbers have decreased dramatically over the past 2 weeks. Right now we're at 46.6 cases per 100,000. A couple of weeks ago, we were all the way up at 78, or a little over 78 cases per 100,000. So just in 2 weeks, we've decreased about 45%. Positivity rate is now down to 12.9%. And hospitalizations have gone down about 20% in the last 2 weeks. So, so we're really happy to see that the, although we are still in the middle of the pandemic, we do still have very high case numbers. We're still in the purple tier. Those numbers are decreasing. They're going the right direction. And that does give us a great deal of optimism, along with now the vaccinations going out. The governor has lifted the regional stay-at-home order. He did that on Monday. And a lot of new research has come out suggesting that there is low transmission within schools, as long as those schools really strictly follow the CDC guidelines. And then just a little bit about the different school districts in the OC and where they are in terms of reopening. So right now, today, there are 6 school districts that are offering in-person or hybrid instruction for all of their grades K through 12. There's 5 districts that are open for in-person instruction for grades K through 5, but have not opened their secondary schools yet. Their secondary schools are still virtual. There's 7 districts that are virtual until February 1st. And then there's 10 districts that have not set a date yet for when they will be returning to virtual or in-person instruction. So taking all of these factors into account, we have set our date for opening for in-person instruction. So we are recommending that OPA reopen for hybrid learning this Monday, February 1st, 2021. I have received emails from a few families who are still nervous about sending their kids back to school. And so, as we've said throughout the entire time where we've had hybrid learning, if you have a student who was hybrid before winter break and you wish to switch them to fully virtual, you may do so at any time by contacting your school administration. And we will be putting out a survey to those parents whose students are virtual now to transition to hybrid learning for the 3rd trimester. And we'll be putting that survey out sometime in mid-February. So be on the lookout for that. But that is what we are proposing to the board. We have an action item later on tonight that the board will be voting on, but that is our recommendation for reopening hybrid learning. And again, we'll be following very strict guidelines that we've outlined in our COVID-19 safety plan that we'll be presenting later on tonight. So that is the end of my update. Are there any questions?
I did have a quick question for you. You know, you gave us the breakdown of the different districts and kind of where they're all at.
Can you bring those back up? Bring that slide back up? Sorry, Delight.
Yes, thank you. Of those districts, you know, what is the South Orange County kind of surrounding OPA proper? What is the landscape around that? I mean, are they open? Are they still hybrid? Are they open fully? Are they hybrid? Are they virtual? You know, can you kind of like, what is Capo, Saddleback, Irvine, those doing?
So Capo, Saddleback, and Irvine are open K-12 for in-person instruction. So yeah, our surrounding districts are open for in-person instruction.
So overall, we have 20. There's 28 districts in Orange County.
Yes, there are.
Okay, so what % were closed when we were closed?
So when we were closed, there were 18 other school districts that have been closed through February 1st. So that would be about 64% of districts.
Okay, so more than half were closed while we were closed.
And then one reopened just last week. And so as of February 1st, there'll be about 64 districts that will be open. So, so we're right in that kind of majority group of districts as far as opening on February 1st.
Got it. And I think you said 64 districts, you mean 64%? 64%. Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
Mr. Jackson, you still have a question?
No, sir.
Okay, Dr. Canale, I had a question. When this was brought to our attention to vote on, one of the big concerns that I had was the fact that we don't have the same resources that a district school has when it comes to a deep pool of substitute teachers and other teachers that we could bring in. And if we had to shut the school down because of a COVID outbreak, it would have been enormously disruptive to have kids back for a day or two and then have to shut them down. I know the districts are struggling with finding substitute teachers, and it's been a nationwide problem. Are we in a position now where we can better weather that storm versus 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago?
So we are hoping that because we remained closed for these 3 weeks, that those people, we did have, you know, some staff members who had close contacts or even became positive for COVID-19 over winter break. So we are hoping that because we had that 3 week period, that now we've passed that quarantine period for those for most of those staff members, whether it was for having close contacts, travel, or positive cases. And so we think that we should be okay for opening as far as staffing. But you are right, because we aren't a big K-12 district, The K-12 districts, because a lot of the high school electives and sports those sports classes aren't happening, they're able to pull from their high schools in order to backfill the need in their elementary schools. We don't have that ability, and so we really are bound by how many subs we have. We can have the teachers Zoom in and have some of our instructional assistants watch the classes sometimes, but those instructional assistants have a lot of extra duties working with our Scholar Academy kids. And so a lot of times that's not a viable option either. But we are looking at still some staffing struggles even to open up on February 1st. Even just today, we found out about a couple more issues that we may have on the 1st. But we're pretty optimistic that we will be able to cover those staffing issues and be able to continue with hybrid learning uninterrupted. However, I know that the superintendent of Newport Mesa put out a video to his family saying the same thing, that, you know, staffing issues come up anytime, and it could cause us to have to temporarily revert to virtual learning based on those issues.
Got it.
And Mr. Haney, I wanted to add that we continually recruit for substitutes and have had some successes, but it's an open position for us at all times. And when we find good ones, we build a relationship with them so they can support our teachers and families.
And we also, like a lot of our surrounding districts, increased our substitute pay. You guys approved that a couple of months back, so that we could try to get more interest in subs. And so we have had some more applications, but, you know, everybody's in the same boat, and we're kind of a small fish in a large pond trying to entice substitutes to come and work for us when they can be sort of guaranteed a position every single day at one of the larger districts.
And again, we're a small LEA compared to the large districts, and I heard you comment on this before, but can you give us some idea of what our other local charter schools close or adjacent to or in the southern part of the county, what they've done? Have they made the same kind of decisions? Are they challenged and are weathering the same kind of matters and issues that we are?
Yeah, and everybody is going through the same thing and having the same issues. And some of our other surrounding charter schools have even had more extreme issues than we have. We've had some charter schools in South Orange County that have had to actually shut down because of outbreaks within their campus, and some that have chosen to do some quarantine periods. So, you know, it's most of the districts or most of the charter schools did open by that November 10th deadline, before schools weren't allowed to open because we were in the purple. But you know, all of us are dealing with the same issues or similar issues, and a lot of them have had to revert to virtual learning, either for staffing issues, quarantine, or actually for outbreak on their campus.
I have a couple comments and then a question. First thing is, first of all, let's acknowledge the hard work that the staff and the teachers and the parents and the kids are going through right now. This is not an easy situation. No answer is always going to be the right answer for everybody, right? So I want to acknowledge the teachers, the staff. I mean, I think it was wonderful to hear from everybody during the town hall. People are passionate, people are nervous, people are worried. And then, as board members, we got a lot of emails from parents about their struggles and what their concerns and so on. So I want to acknowledge that. And I want to thank everyone, the Oppa family. It's incredible. I'm new to the Oppa family, and it just gives me renewed strength and say, oh yeah, I mean, we have a set of folks who are very, very passionate, right? Now, the second comment I have is none of this would work if, we sort of don't follow the regulations, right? I mean, if Dr. Kern saying, hey, please quarantine if you're doing this or that, and please stay at home, please follow that. As parents, I think we all have to take the responsible thing. Otherwise, we're all going, all of this is not going to work out, right? It's not a mandate. It's a recommendation. It's a suggestion. It's a strong request. So please do consider that. Two practical questions. One is, if parents who are right now, before the holidays, they were sending their kids to hybrid, if they now are worried and they want to switch, they would have to switch to the PM session, right, Dr. Kern?
Yeah, so if they're going to switch for long-term, if your student is just switching because maybe they have some COVID symptoms or someone in your, and just like you said, Mr. Kugu, please keep your students home if they come in contact with anyone, if they have any COVID symptoms, or if someone in your family tests positive. Even if their siblings have COVID symptoms, please keep all of the siblings home so that we don't risk spreading anything. But yeah, if they're just going to be home for, say, a 10-day quarantine period, then we won't actually switch their schedule. They'll just join the afternoon session and work that out with their teacher. But if they want to switch for long-term, switch for the rest of the trimester, then please reach out to your chancellor. And it's easy to flip their schedule, but they'll do their academic classes, except for some of our middle school kids where we have morning and afternoon virtual cohorts. But for most of the TK through 5 kids, they'll do their core academic classes in the afternoon and then do their elective and PE classes in the morning. So it'll just kind of flip their schedule.
Thank you, Dr. Kern. And one last question. I think it came loud and clear in all of our discussions that uniformly everyone agrees that we all want the kids back, right? And when I attended the PIM yesterday, there's all of these programs that Oppa offers that I'm sure the kids are missing. So could you talk a little bit about your thought process on how you're thinking long-term when we switch to seat-based education, and what considerations, how is the process going to work out? Have you thought about that? And I know you can't set timings, but can you just talk about the process and just thought process? Could you speak to that?
Yeah, so we're definitely planning as much as possible to come back 100% in person for the 21-22 school year. That's our goal always, is to have our students here on campus full time, because like you said, we have so many amazing on-campus programs that our students really are missing out on. And I mean, even just seeing Mr. Sachs and Mr. T and on campus and doing music and having PE with with Miss Penrose and Mr. Barton. It's not as easy virtual. So as of now, we are making those plans to have those programs next school year, hoping that we can the vaccine will get out between now and the summer. And numbers will decrease and we'll be able to return to that. So, but we also have to look at the data. We also have to follow all of those guidelines. And so in looking ahead to next year, we want to be able to start fully in person, but if we do have to start in a hybrid model, we always have that ability to switch to 100% virtual as soon as those guidelines and those restrictions are lifted. One of the great things about being a smaller charter school organization is that we can change things much quicker than a large district. We don't have to go through a lot of the bureaucracy, a lot of the different steps that the larger districts do. So even though, if it does happen that for, a month or two at the beginning of next year, we have to start out hybrid, as soon as those restrictions are lifted, then we would be able to go back and implement a fully in-person schedule.
Thank you.
And then,
can I ask that question when you're done with that? Go ahead.
Nope, go ahead.
Thanks.
Oh, sorry. I can't have open questions from people. Is that Amy?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Someone just unmuted themselves, and so I wasn't sure if it was you.
Oh, apologies. Yes, Amy Smith here. I just wanted to echo what Mr. Kagu said in terms of I'm, being new to the Oppa family, but dealing with this issue in particular the last month, I feel like I've gotten a good glimpse of the Oppa culture. And I also want to commend staff and parents for having such an apparent vested interest in providing the best education for students, as well as having that be within a really safe environment. My question, I guess, is about at the town hall I attended, and you gave some information about the survey, which I believe was meant to capture parents and staff's input. And I think the survey was open after the town hall, if I remember correctly. Were there any updates in terms of additional responses that you got and the feedback you got from parents and faculty or teachers about their desires moving forward?
Yeah, so like I said, the survey is still open until tomorrow, and so we're still continuously receiving survey results, and I'm planning on presenting those survey results at our next board meeting. So I'll be able to kind of show everybody a more broad overview. But the survey results were very similar. I actually ran them last night, and just to kind of make sure that none of the major pieces had changed from the survey. And although we didn't break the survey out between hybrid families and virtual families, because we think it is important that everybody be able to kind of have a say as to what they think, especially because we're going to be asking families to have that second choice of what they want to do third trimester. And the question surrounding when families would feel comfortable to send their students back. When we first put the survey out, really was meant more to sort of gauge what people were thinking as far as how many families we might have wanting to come back third trimester to hybrid learning. But the results are still showing that it's about 58 to 59% of families that are not wanting their students to come back on campus until at least the region is out of the purple tier, or there's a vaccine available for staff and students. So that number stayed about the same. I think at the town hall, it was about 58%. I think it's about 59% right now. So that was pretty much the same. The same thing with the satisfaction in communication and in our overall response to the COVID-19 pandemic, with our communication being at about 88% satisfied. And I think that our response went from 82, which I presented, up to 84 right now. So like I said, the results, we're still getting those results, but it remained pretty similar between what I presented at the town hall and what I ran yesterday.
Great. And do you recall, as of last night when you ran the numbers, what was the response rate?
So between, for parents, I believe we had about a little over 600 parent responses, where I think when at the town hall, or actually, sorry, I'm 500, I can actually pull it up, but I think it was around 530. I'm trying to add it up in my head. And at the town hall, I think we were at about 350. So, so we had a little less than double the amount of responses.
Thank you.
Can I ask a quick question?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just wondering, and I'd asked this in a previous meeting a couple of months ago.
Oh, sorry. You if you're not one of the board members, I can't allow you to speak during an item without having turned in a comment card. So I'm sorry. That's it's just part of the rules for board meetings. But if you want, you can put the question that you have in the chat, and I will, along with your email, and I can definitely send you a response. All right. Any other questions from the board?
Amy, I have one last one. Do you have like an updated testing plan? I know I saw your updated COVID plan in the board packet, and it's incredible all the work that you guys have been putting in with that. But are you also updating a testing plan to try to make sure to monitor, as much as possible the COVID situation at OPA?
Yeah, so one thing that we are really actually excited about is that we applied to be able to receive free testing that we could do on site from the state's new lab that they're contracting with, Keller Genetics up in Valencia. And we were one of 30 school districts that had applied so far, and we've been approved to be able to receive our own testing and be able to do testing on site, or provide that chance for students and staff to be tested on site. We have been approved to receive 700 tests a week. And so our plan is that we'll offer testing for all students and staff. It is, voluntary for students, and we're still working with the lab. There will be an app that parents can use to sign up for the testing. And then the testing, students can actually do the testing themselves. And it's just a quick front nasal swab. And then we send the tests in, and the results come back to the parents. And we're hoping to offer that testing for every staff and student on campus every 2 weeks. So that'll help us to be able to monitor the cases and be able to catch any cases much sooner, so that we have a less likely of a chance for us to have any type of outbreak on campus.
I have a question, Amy, about the positive cases at SV and SOC. How do we determine what numbers are put on the website versus positive tests that we have at the school site level?
So there was guidance put out from the California Department of Public Health that most of the different school districts and schools are following for their dashboards. So we report cases where someone has possibly been infectious on campus. And so if it's a student or a staff member who has been completely virtual for the entire time that they've been infectious, then those cases aren't put on our dashboard. But if we have a staff member who was on campus or a student who was reported on campus, we do all of our contact tracing in collaboration with the Orange County Department of Public Health, or Orange County Healthcare Agency. And so if through contact tracing we find that person was infectious while on campus, then those case numbers go into our dashboard, and a notification is sent out to any families or staff members who were on campus during that same time that person was on campus for any low risk exposure. So most of our staff and students are following the guidelines, staying 6 feet apart, not being in close contact for more than 15 minutes. So most of our exposures are all considered low contact, and so we would send home a low contact letter to pretty much everyone who is on campus at that time. If there is a high contact exposure, then I personally reach out to anyone who has had high close contact, less than 6 feet for more than 15 minutes, and discuss with them, kind of what their next steps are. So, but it is posted on the website for anybody who is infectious while they're on campus.
Any additional questions? All right, Dr. Kernan, thank you very much. Now we will move to board reports and comments. Ms. Agarwal, I apologize. Now is your time.
I have actually just a comment about, how we as a OPA family, it's incumbent on us to make sure that we're, as much as we want our kids back in school, that we're always doing what is best to protect those who are taking care of our children as well. So if I've heard of people not taking the protocols seriously, the parents who are not putting on masks and stuff when they're dropping off children, when they're, you know, doing things that are maybe don't follow those protocols. I would just ask that, I have a hybrid child. I would like my child to go back to school, but it is incumbent on us to do the right things to protect our teachers as well. So I just hope that we all just do a little bit so that we can get back to normalcy. So everyone has to give a little. So I appreciate that.
Thank you very much, Ms. Agarwal. I'm going to skip myself and go to Mr. Kagoo.
Thank you, Mr. Haney. Two things. One, I'm glad that the conversation about, you know, thanking you, I was able to join today. You know, obviously I've not been in the school long enough, but I really appreciate your service, and I didn't get a chance to do a comment card on it. So that's number one. Number two, again, I want to thank the, you know, if we go with this reopening schedule, I know several of the staff are nervous about it. But I thank you for you know, taking all the different things into account, the risks, the benefits for the kids, and sort of saying, look, yeah, we're gonna do this. And I echo what Janelle said. You know, as parents, let's be responsible. Let's follow the protocols. They're there for a reason. And you know, let's not try to interpret the protocols. Let's just try to follow it, even if we don't fully agree with it. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kagoo. Mr. Jackson.
I just want to say that, remind everybody, I mean, I love democracy in all of its forms. I think I've said that before. I've seen a lot of communication come in from parents and families and staff. And I want to celebrate the fact that on balance, it's been very positive. When I say positive, I mean, there may be divergent opinions, but it's a healthy conversation. And I want to recognize the people who are doing that, to be part of the conversation, encourage you to be part of the conversation, encourage you to keep it positive, and be sure those conversations are healthy, because it's critically important. I love the visibility into those conversations, so never be shy about CCing the entire board on a conversation. We're very limited in what we can do as far as responding goes, but just know that we definitely hear you. We definitely make your opinions part of the conversation ongoing, and it's a great thing. And I look back to days of OPA past and have seen a lot more. It's been a different conversation in the past, and I'm happy to see it headed in the right direction. So thank you for everybody who's part of that. Thank you. And I love you,
Thank
Joseph.
you, Mr. I love you too, Raymond. Ms. Smith.
Yeah, I will just echo the sentiment in terms of, again, commending the staff, students, teachers for continuing to persevere, and all of us being committed to providing, you know, safe and high quality educational experiences for the students. And also congratulations. I don't know that we commented or was open to about getting on the honor roll, and the accolades and the things that the schools continue to earn despite these very challenging times.
Thank you very much, Ms. Smith. Ms. Travis.
Well, I have to tell you, I really enjoyed the dialogue of the last month around our closing OPA and going to hybrid and what we had to do. I just want to thank everybody for your ongoing communication, your involvement and engagement in this topic. It reminds me about how incredible our community is and why we are all here for the kids. So it really is remarkable for everybody that has stepped up and communicated and really been a part of this process at the board meeting, as well as in the town hall. Please know your voice is appreciated and heard by all of us on the board. And I also just want to commend everybody to know how lucky we are that we have such an active community and have such passionate and dedicated teachers every day in the class for the kids, especially during this difficult time, the staff that are supporting them, and then the parents at home. Everything you guys are doing, you know, it's a struggle, and we know that, and because many of us are parents, but know that you're not alone, and we are a community even if we're apart.
Thank you, Ms. Travis. So I'm going to break from my usual history of not saying anything during board comments. I didn't have anything written down, but there's been 2 times in the 4 years I've been on this board where I almost lost composure. The first time was a night I stood in Honor Hall at SOC, and we had to explain what a notice of violation meant and try to keep everyone's spirits up, but also give you a very realistic picture of what laid in front of us. The other night was tonight. Everything that you said was amazing. And if I could sit here and name off everybody here and thank you, we'd be here all night. To everybody who's been on that board with me, you've been amazing people. Delight and Denali, I wish you'd been on the board with us longer, but I want you to know that the 2 of you being on the board gave me such a sense of confidence that I could walk away from the board and know that this organization was in good hands. To Priscilla and her undying commitment to academics and the students, thank you for your time. I know it was difficult. Mary, thank you for being a pit bull. I mean, there were times when Raymond and I were tired and you were just still digging, and the things you did, if everybody knew how hard you worked, they'd marvel at what you accomplished. Raymond, I'm going to be honest. That first time I met you, you came up and shook my hand and said, hey, it's okay if I don't get on the board because I feel really good if it's you. And I thought, is this guy for real? Like, is he really that good a person? And he is. I mean, Raymond's heart for this organization, for these teachers, these students, these families, for everybody here, hearts aren't made that large. I don't know if his is engineered, if it's trained, if it was in a lab, whatever it is. Raymond's got the greatest heart for this school that you could ask for. And you are beyond measured blessed to have him here. We couldn't have done anything here, Raymond, if it hadn't been in the foxhole with you. I'm so thankful for my time serving on the board with you. I'm thankful for our friendship. I'm thankful for all the stupid jokes we have, the ones that some people are a little bit in on, and the ones that nobody else is in on. I appreciate that immensely. They sustained in some rough times. Jill, Amy, and David, your blood, sweat, and tears are tattooed on 2 charter renewals. You own that success, and I hope you know what voids you filled for us by being here and serving our organization. To our teachers, I probably didn't say thank you enough to you guys. It was like we took a collection of all the great teachers I had growing up and we concentrated them on a couple of campuses. I mean, most schools you'll find a handful of really great teachers. You're like, oh, when you get to 4th grade, you're going to get her. But oh, it's going to be a rough couple of years before that. We didn't have those conversations because it was like, oh, which good one did you get? You guys are amazing. And I'm so glad we had the opportunity to serve you. To our families, you guys are fierce and you are loyal, but you are fierce and loyal for 2 incredible causes, and that's your children's education in this school. I never tired of getting your phone calls. I never tired of the text messages. I never even tired of the really late night calls. It was really great to get to see who you are and work with you to do what we did. And last is our students. You guys are amazing. I hope you're not watching this because it's boring, it's not interesting. But if you are, maybe your parents will tell you, you guys are amazing. And you are an amazing school that's going to give you the educational foundation so you can do amazing things one day as adults. And you know what? I hope someday all of us just get the opportunity to read a news article, or nobody will be reading then, I guess, but we'll see something. We'll find out. You'll talk about a teacher you had at Oppa. And to know that we'll have had a very small role in getting you there, that's incredible. I got asked a lot when things were really ugly, if I had known then, if I had known when I signed on for this, if I would have still done it. And the answer then and the answer now is yes. I unequivocally, I could not imagine not having said yes. And the difference we were able to make, the friendships, the relationships, if you're ever given the opportunity and you're sitting in a room and they're asking for a volunteer, raise your hand, say I'm in, and be in, because you don't know what you might be able to do. So thank you all of you for the opportunity to serve you, to serve your students, serve my community. This is really hard to say goodbye, but I'm so thankful to all of you. And I'm gonna stop. All right. We now go to, where are we on the agenda? Scrolling back down. Lost my place here. Oh, item 9, Executive Director reports, comments.
Well, it's about time. Joseph, I know you can walk away with a deep sense of accomplishment. I know how modest and humble you are, and I hope you can take to heart and accept as true what this community has shared about you tonight. Sometimes it's like, no, but again, please just soak it in and remember the words and accept them. And thank you for always taking my calls. Even if you were on the football field or walking the track or, squeezing me in between your own appointments, but always making me feel and considering the work of Oppa as important as your job, as your family, and again, never letting me feel like I'm bugging you. So again, you've just been an amazing leader and mentor, and a friend when I needed one. So I'll miss you. I know we'll keep in touch, and you're part of what this place is so special and so distinguished, and be right on your coattails. That said, I just want to quickly just announce to everybody that there will be a special board meeting next week. It will be on February 3rd, which is a Wednesday, and it's going to be a board training session, but we didn't want to catch you unawares about a special meeting coming up. We'll be sure to mention it in our mail outs this week and post it. So it's a study session, and it's an annual governance workshop and strategic thinking sessions. So we invite you to come and listen and know more about open meetings and the role and responsibilities of board members, and what directional thinking is being shared among the board. So again, please join us, and we'll send out another reminder. So thank you.
All right. Well, that takes us to items scheduled for action. And we've got some nominations and voting to do. First up is approve the Oppa board member officer president. A mid-year election of officers is needed to fill one or more vacancies on the Oppa board of directors. I'm not sure I'm allowed to do this, but I'm not making a motion. I'm making a nomination. And I would really, it would bring me great joy to nominate Raymond Jackson to the office of president.
I'll officially make that the motion.
That motion.
Do we have any discussion? We've got a motion, we've got a second. Is there any discussion on Raymond Jackson's? Do we need me to wax poetic about what an amazing human being he is and how well he will serve in this capacity.
Yeah, do it. Tell me.
Shortly, I think Raymond has the organizational mind to help. We've been on a fighting mode. It's been come up a lot tonight. And Raymond's a fighter, but Raymond's also got this beautiful gift for organizing. And I think helping to organize the school and take it into the next phase of its existence would be well suited by his many gifts, his temperament, his intellect, and his ability to build consensus. So again, it's my strongest possible endorsement for Raymond Jackson to the office of president. Oh, and we had a second, so we can put that to a vote now before he says no. All right, all those in favor of Raymond Jackson filling the office of president, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That's good. I didn't want to meet that person. This motion has been approved. Is this effective immediately?
You want it to be, or we can have you just take us to the end of the meeting.
Yes.
I think Joseph should take us to the end.
All right, I'll take us to the end, Mr. Jackson. Congratulations on your election. Next up, we have OPA Board Member Officer Vice President. Do I have a nomination for the office of Vice President?
I'd like to nominate Delight Travis.
Very good. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Whoa, all right. Any discussion on Delight filling the role? I will add that I think Delight will serve as an excellent vice president for this organization. I think she has a love for the school and boundless energy and ideas that I think will be excited to have shared with this organization. So very excited to see this. All those in favor of Delight Travis as vice president say aye.
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 Those opposed? This motion passes unanimously. Next up is approve the OPA Board Member Officer Secretary. Do I have a nomination?
I'd like to nominate Paul Kagoo.
All right. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments about Mr. Kagoo?
I'm so excited you're here, Paul.
I'm glad to be.
Yeah, I've had a few conversations with Paul, and again, it's another situation of a first-rate intellect. And we use the word strategic often, but I think with him, it's very true. And I think that's at this point for OPA and looking towards the future and putting the past in the past, I think that is a remarkable add to the board and a great person to fill the role of secretary. So all those in favor of Mr. Kagoo as the secretary say aye.
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 Those opposed? All right, this passes unanimously. Congratulations, Paul. Next up is approve OPA Board Member Officer Treasurer. Do you have a nomination?
Joseph, we don't necessarily have to go there. I didn't know right now, Danelli's in that position. I didn't know if she was be moving to another one. So if the board does not want to.
I want to nominate Danelli.
I would like to nominate Danelli.
Oh.
I'd like
You
to
don't
endorse the
have to.
nomination and second of Danelli.
Okay. Danelli, you stay where you are, I guess.
All right, you got a first and a second.
Cool. All those in favor of keeping Danelli in her current position, say aye.
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 Those opposed?
I'm so happy you're here, Danelli.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so happy you're here, Delight.
That might have been sarcastic. Want to make sure.
Here, yeah. It's like, still treasurer.
Yep. All right. Next up is E, approve resolution number 2020-02 to honor Joseph Haney for distinguished service. It is recommended the board approve action item E. Motion?
I happily make a motion to recognize Joseph Haney III for being exceptional. All right.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? I'm going to abstain because that seems awkward. This motion passes. But it's appreciated sincerely. F, opposed resolution number 2020-03 to name the annual OPA football tournament. It is recommended the board approve action item F. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion to approve action item F.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, any questions, comments?
Yes.
Okay.
So throughout this little adventure, Joseph and I joked with each other about how we were going to make it to a gold watch and a sheet cake. And this COVID thing really threw a wrench in my sheet cake thing. But Joseph, hear me when I tell you, man, we're going to bring you back one day when we're able to be humans again, and you're going to get a sheet cake and a big janky gold watch from Raymond Jackson.
Well, that's good, because the alternative was board members were either going to leave with a sheet cake and a gold watch, or they're going to leave with pitchforks and torches. So better to leave with a football tournament named in my honor than the pitchfork and torches.
Yes.
So,
all right.
All those in favor of action item F?
Aye.
Those opposed? This motion passes unanimously. I will abstain again, but the sentiment and the recognition is truly, truly appreciated. Next up is G, approve the timeline for reopening in-person instruction. OPA staff will present the timeline for reopening OPA SOC and OPA SV for in-person instruction. That was done. This timeline was created using current COVID-19 data, guidelines from state and local health officials, and stakeholder feedback. It's recommended the board approve action item G. Do we have any comments from the public?
Yes. We have Travis Morsoli. I'm actually gonna quickly share my screen.
And Amy, just to confirm, it's the recommendation of staff that we go back to hybrid instruction.
Yes, as of Monday, this Monday, February 1st.
Gotcha. Okay.
So give me one sec. Is Mr. Morsoli on?
Yes.
Okay, you can start.
So I just wanted to thank everybody for taking the feedback over the last 3 weeks and having a quick date of reopening, and hopefully that passes with the upcoming vote. I think that's a great thing. I'm a little bit sad that our kids have lost out on the last couple of weeks of in-person instruction, but hopefully, again, this is remedied next week, coming Monday. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Marsali. Did you say we had another comment?
Yeah, we have 4 comments.
Okay.
So we have Whitney Kerr. Ms. Kerr, are you on?
I am. Thank you. And I just want to say congratulations to Mrs. Ream and Mrs. Kaufman. And thank you, Mr. Haney. I haven't had a chance to get to know you, but it sounds like you did some wonderful things for our schools, and I've been there for a long time. And that's why I'm on here. So I'm very happy to see the recommendation to reopen on February 1st. I was one of the parents that was up in arms about being closed. So I think the videos that you showed at the beginning of this board meeting about school's choice and some of the things that I took out of it were from the students. They like the support, they like the academic excellence, the assemblies, the field trips, the electives. All of those things are not happening when we are in at-home instruction. I have an 8th grader who is going to be going to high school. He's missing out on that social interaction, and he is a gate child, which I do not think he's getting that education when he's at home. So I really, really hope this passes tonight, and I thank you for allowing me this opportunity.
All right, thank you. Whoops. And we have Bradford Torrey. Bradford, are you on? If you're on, you can unmute yourself. I can see you. He might be just having an issue. Actually, that is our last speaker. So let's give him one more second. Are you able to unmute yourself? Are you on? Okay, and our other speaker chose to pull their comment card. So
Is he out of time? I feel like it's one of those when you call tech support, you know, and you're on
I know
hold
I'm
forever.
trying to hit the button to ask him to unmute, but he may have chosen to pull his card as well. I'm not sure.
Going once, going twice.
Looks like he's trying to talk.
Yeah, it does look like he's trying to.
It does. So
Check
that's what I'm trying to.
Hello?
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Hello? Hello?
Yep.
Hello?
Okay,
We can hear you now.
we can hear you.
Boom.
Hey, are you guys here? You guys hearing us now?
Yeah.
Perfectly.
Oh, awesome. All right. So that was one of those like tech support moments, like you just said. All right. So let's see what we can do. We did want to address the school openings, mostly in favor of delaying it a bit. And I have some stuff written out, and it's kind of like changed because of things that have been said in the last 30 minutes, but let's just do this. Okay, so I'm just gonna read what's been written. Okay, families can follow all the safety guidelines, but it only takes like one slip up to get infected. The virus spreads so widely because of this, and one single person in a household becomes infected, and then it spreads quickly from out from that. So number two, there is some idea that this idea is like this case is like the flu, but it's not. Some people are heavily affected, but some people with limited symptoms. But if you look at, sorry, you know what? Oh my God.
I wanted to stay anonymous, but I can't sit here any longer. We are a nation and we are a community that, and we, as a school, we have to has sacrificed so much on the stem of this infection. We've watched local businesses struggle and some fall. We would like to think that this struggle meant something. If you can hold on to the struggle for another couple of months until the vaccine has been distributed, and if we can hold our ICU counts reduced to further, safer transfer back to something that resembles more normal. I would also like to address the yo-yo effect that I've witnessed. People are resilient and can adapt to change, but asking people in this case, and students and teachers to adapt to virtual learning, then return to hybrid learning, but back and forth again. My thought is that we need to hold fast to virtual. My first reaction when people found out I became sick was, what, not you? This is a typical response I've heard. Often when I share with family and friends and colleagues I'm recovering from COVID pneumonia, I follow the rules at school and at home and at the store. I missed out on many joys with my family and friends and loved ones. My family, and as a mother, my children have had to stay at home for school, and we've sacrificed so much, but I still come to work. I never miss. If anybody knows me, I have an impeccable record, but I got sick. I am 41. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't have pre-existing conditions. I went to the hospital. I was dropped off curbside in a wheelchair because they wouldn't allow anyone else to accompany me. My oxygen.
All right, Simone, your 3 minutes are.
I wanted to stay anonymous because this is my private life, but this is happening to everybody. So regardless of how we catch it, we need to keep our staff safe till we have the choice to be vaccinated, please. I will not be at work for a while because I'm recovering. I am very ill. And I followed all the rules. My family follows all the rules, and it hit our family like a tidal wave. Thank you, and I'm sorry for becoming emotional.
Thank you.
There is no reason to apologize. It is, it's awful if you get it. For some people, it's not. But for a lot of people it is, so don't. in any way feel the need, you have to apologize for feeling that way.
You say that like you've had COVID. That's so weird.
I say it as somebody who did have COVID, and whose son had it. And we should probably have a motion in a second if we want to discuss this. So do I have a motion at this time for action item G?
I would like to make a motion to approve the staff's recommendation to go back to hybrid education, starting on the 1st.
And do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Good. Is there any comments or questions by the board on this?
This is not an insignificant dialogue. This is not a light conversation. This is hugely impactful for parents on both sides of this decision. Families are hugely impacted, and we have seen lots and lots of, thankfully, healthy conversation about it, and this is not insignificant.
Yeah, and again, it's a very difficult decision, as I said earlier. It's going to be difficult for everybody. I would like to focus on what can we do to help the staff feel more comfortable, or whatever we need. We have to talk through that, right? I mean, at this point in time, that's what I would like us to focus on. And Dr. Kernan, if you would please keep us posted on what we could do to help the staff as they make this difficult decision. And again, please convey our sincerest appreciation for them bringing the kids back, whoever wants to come back.
Definitely. Thank you.
I would add that one of the things that's been most enlightening in serving on this board has been really seeing the depth of conviction on multiple sides of an issue. And I know that in lip service, we often say that we respect both sides, but really the last 4 years has made me have to really look at both sides. And then also realize that decision makers are sometimes tasked with making decisions with a lot of variables, and trying to balance the very real impacts of COVID on families, both in terms of getting sick, both in terms of their kids not going to school. I know the science and the articles you sent, many parents sent to us as a board. I nod my head when I get it, but I also want you to know that we also had to be mindful of protecting our teachers. We had to be mindful that from just a logistics perspective, that if we'd had another outbreak of COVID on one of our campuses, we would not have been able, we would have had to shut down again. And it would have been far more disruptive for your children to have come to school for 2 days. And then for us to say, well, we've got an outbreak and we don't have enough substitute teachers. So really, I encourage that healthy debate that Mr. Jackson talked about. But just know that I don't think there's anybody, I mean, I saw some comments that on Facebook and whatnot that went around that we wanted to shut down with no intention to ever reopen. I don't sense that was I never heard that come from our executive leadership team. I never got that sense or heard it from any of our parents. Heck, I've been maintaining an online petition to get high school sports open, and I've participated in protests in favor of it. But we had other limiting factors here in terms of being able to staff our schools so that we could continue to offer education in a manner that was least disruptive to your students. And, so now that we're in a position where our leadership says that we can reopen and not face that same threat anymore, I'm firmly in favor of this.
I also want to make a comment that, can you guys hear me?
No.
Quiet.
I just want to make a comment that it's not easy to be in a position to, make these votes. We're not considering just one aspect.
Hey, Danelli, your volume is super, super low. Is there a way you can adjust your microphone or something so we can hear you better?
Can you hear me now?
Oh my gosh, much better. Thank you so much.
Okay. My comment was that there's many layers to making a decision, and we're not just focused on just the students and just the teachers or our own personal feelings. We are looking at it for everyone. And so I hope that when people are considering and judging how we make our decisions, they understand that it's not just one way. We have to look at it all. So I hope that everyone understands that and can appreciate how difficult it is to make a vote. And it's one of many, but a vote in favor of something or against something.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments from the board? All right, we have a motion and we have a second. All those in favor of approving action item G, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? This motion passes unanimously. Next up is item H, approve the 2021-2022 school calendar. The proposed 2021-2022 OPA school calendar was created to ensure compliance with California Education Code Section 37-220. The calendar consists of 180 instructional days and meets the California minimal instructional day requirement. It is recommended the board approve action item H.
I make a motion to approve action item H.
Do I have a second?
Second the motion.
Any discussion by the board on this?
Can I just make one comment? It was just brought to my attention that President's Day is wrong on the calendar. And I'll have to verify, but it looks like we'll just move it to the following weekend, the 18th through the 21st. So I just wanted to let the board know that.
So Mr. Jackson and Ms. Travis, do you change your motion and your second of the motion to approve the calendar as so modified?
It was Dinelli and Delight.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I amend it.
I amend it.
Okay. Any
Awesome.
discussion? Are we ready to vote on this one?
Ready to vote.
All right. All those in favor of approving action item H?
Aye.
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 Those opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Up next is I, approve the Charter Facilities Agreement, Amendment Number 2, by and between Saddleback Valley Unified School District and Oxford Preparatory Academy. Saddleback Valley Unified School District, SVUSD, agrees to allow OPA to use of the Saddleback Valley campus for the sole purpose of operating the OPA educational program according to its charter. OPA's right to use the campus shall be for the applicable year beginning July 1, 2021, and shall conclude at the expiration of this agreement on June 30th, 2022. Amendment number 2 extends previous charter facilities agreement by and between SVUSD and OPA. It's recommended the board approve action item I. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion.
I move to.
Go ahead, Paul.
Second.
I make a motion to approve item I.
All right.
All right, and Ms. Travis preemptively seconded that. Any discussion on this matter?
Can we not do this to line up with our charter? Do we have to do it 1 year at a time?
Yeah, so we have asked Saddleback Valley Unified for a multi-year agreement. They're doing some facilities reviews this year, and so they said that they were not able this year to do a multi-year agreement, although we will continue working with them. And hopefully once their facilities review is over, we are hoping that we can get a multi-year facilities use agreement in the future.
All right. Any other questions or comments from the board? All right, seeing none. All those in favor of approving action item I, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? This motion passes unanimously. Up next is item J, approve the 2019-2020 school accountability report card for OPA Saddleback Valley. EC section 35-256 states that the governing board of each school district LEA maintaining an elementary or secondary school shall develop and cause to be implemented for each school in the school district charter school a school accountability report card. It is recommended the board approve action item J. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve action item J.
And do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, any questions, comments, or discussion from the board? All right, seeing none, all those in favor of action item J say aye.
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 Those opposed? This motion passes unanimously. Up next is item K, approve the 2019-2020 School Accountability Report Card for Oppa South Orange County. EC Section 35256 states that the governing board of each school district LEA maintaining an elementary or secondary school shall develop and cause to be implemented for each school in the school district charter school a school accountability report card. It is recommended the board approve action item K. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve action item K.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. Any comments, questions, or discussion from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving action item K say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? This motion passes unanimously. Next up is L, approve the comprehensive school safety plan for Oxford Preparatory Academy, Saddleback Valley. Education Code Section 32280 states that all California public schools, in cooperation with local law employees and other persons who may be interested in the prevention of campus crime and violence, develop a comprehensive school safety plan that addresses the safety concerns and identified through a systematic planning process. This plan contains strategies aimed at the prevention of and education about potential incidents involving crime and violence on the school campus. It's recommended the board approve action item L. Is there a motion?
Raymond makes a motion for to approve action item L.
And who would like to join Raymond in that motion with a second?
Second.
All right, any discussion by the board?
I just want to say that it was very, very well put together, and I appreciate you guys really putting a lot of thought into making sure the safety of our kids is a top priority.
Yep, definitely. All right. Seeing no other questions or comments, all those in favor of action item M?
Aye.
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 Those opposed? I'm sorry, not M, L.
L.
L. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, this passes unanimously. M. You know what? It's running on fumes, I guess. M, approve the comprehensive school safety plan for Oxford Preparatory Academy, South Orange County. Education Code Section 32280 states that all California public schools, in cooperation with local law employees and other persons who may be interested in the prevention of campus crime and violence, develop a comprehensive school safety plan that addresses the safety concerns identified through a systematic planning process. This plan contains strategies and aimed at the prevention of and education about potential incidents involving crime and violence on the school campus. It is recommended that the board approve action item M. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve action item M.
I second Danelli.
Any discussion on M? All right, seeing none, all those in favor of action item M say aye.
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 Those opposed? We got you aye in there. Any opposed? This motion passes unanimously. Up next is N, approve the COVID-19 safety plan for Oxford Preparatory Academy. On September 17th, 2020, Governor Newsom of California signed a new law, AB 685, which implements new additional reporting requirements beginning January 1, 2021, regarding COVID-19 cases in the workplace. Shortly thereafter, Cal OSHA approved and adopted a temporary emergency safety standard, which immediately required employers to create a COVID prevention plan, CPP, as either a standalone document or as part of an existing injury and illness prevention program. This CPP is designed to control exposures to the SARS-CoV-2 virus, COVID-19, that may occur in the workplace. California's new Safe Schools for All plan requires all schools to combine these plans into COVID-19 safety plan to be posted by February 1, 2021 on each school's website that is providing in-person instruction. It is recommended that the board approve action item N. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve action item N.
I second Delight.
All right, any questions or comments?
Yes, Mr. Haney, I have one question. There are several recommendations or proposed solutions, and there was some about mental illness health, or mental health support. So, Dr. Curran, what is the I mean, is this plan meant to become actionable at some point in time? I mean, I was curious what when you know the proposed solution column, I wasn't sure what that meant.
Yeah, so this, the proposed solutions were different solutions we could put in place based on different scenarios. A lot of those proposed solutions, because this is an adaptation of the plan that we put in place at the beginning of the year. The state's recommendation was to take our current plan and then just add the updates to make it compliant with the new requirements. So a lot of these are things that have already been put in place, like our new social emotional learning curriculum. And so some of those things are proposed based on whether we're virtual or hybrid. And so they might change depending on what model we're in, but you're right, a lot of those things have already been put in place.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the board? All right, seeing none, let's put this to a vote. All those in favor of action item N, say aye.
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 Those opposed, this motion passes unanimously. Final motion up for approval is the item O, approve the agreement between eLuma and Oxford Preparatory Academy to provide speech and language therapy services for the period of February 1, 2021 through June 30th, 2022. eLuma will provide a licensed speech therapist pathologist, SLP, to perform the required special education services live and online for a total of $42,218.21 for the period of February 1, 2021 through June 30th, 2022. This agreement supplements the current agreements between eLuma and Oppa to provide services for occupational therapy. It is recommended the board approve action item O.
I move to, oh, go ahead, Natalie.
I have an amendment to change the dollar amount to $42,218.91. So it matches the invoice that we received.
Ooh, look at that treasurer.
Treasure.
Look at that treasurer go.
That's it.
She notices every penny, literally.
Good. That is good. Okay, as so modified, any questions or comments from the board?
Is this a new service provider, or is this just you need additional services? You know, what's the backstory?
So our previous speech and language pathologist decided to resign. And so we need to cover those services. In the middle of the year, it's very hard to find an actual person to hire. We still do have the position posted, and so we are looking to actually refill that opening. But in the meantime, we need to make sure that we're meeting those services that for our Saller Academy students. And so we already have a contract with eLuma to provide occupational therapy for some of our students. And so this is just a contract for us to be able to provide those services while we're looking for a permanent replacement for our speech and language pathologist.
Okay. So we have a motion, we have a second, and a so modified to be 91 cents. Thank you to our treasurer. All those in favor of action item O, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? This motion passes unanimously. It's item 11 time, and that's adjournment. It's recommended that the board adjourn this regular meeting of the Oxford Preparatory Academy Board of Directors on January 28th, 2021. Do I have a motion?
No.
We can go have lunch next week, Raymond.
Okay, then I'll allow it.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Do we have a
second? Yep.
All right. All those in favor of adjourning? Say
aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? This motion passes unanimously. We are adjourned at 9:35 p.m. Thank you, everybody, for what an amazing 4 years it has been. I look forward to all the successes going forward for this phenomenal school and its community. Good night.